Alright guys, a little bit of an update on my 2015 late buck hunt. You can't see but 30 yards. My plan was to get up high on a ridge and then glass these hillsides. But you can't see. Can't see the 30 yards, so it kind of sucks. Been here a little over an hour. It's 8 o'clock right now. I've seen one deer, and the one deer I did see, it had cleared up just enough, and she was 30 yards from me. But she was all by herself. I'm hoping within the next hour or so that the sun comes up high enough and it burns off this fog. But as of right now, it just sucks. I'm just kind of driving around right now trying to find the least foggy spot, trying to find where I can see a little bit. But so far everywhere I've been, it looks just like this. So it looks like that everywhere I go. I've seen 2 deer now. Both does. I did shoot 2 grouse. I mean, the fog's good for something. I mean, still socked in fog. The only good news is I did go down real low, and you can get underneath the fog. So I think my plan for the rest of the day is to go hunt low, and just see if I can't find some deer down there. I decided I went down low to see if I could get under the fog, and you can. And then when I was down low, it looked like up top was not that foggy, so I drove up top here, and as you can see, yeah, it's foggy. So I'm gonna head back down. Hopefully I can get on some deer. Okay guys, update. It's now 1:23. Driving around. The fog I finally got below the fog, and I can actually see I've actually spotted a couple deer. Not too many. I've actually just been in this pretty much the same area for the last 2 hours. I spotted like 3 deer from way up top here. One little nubby buck, 2 does. I know there's more. I'm not having too good of luck finding them. I'm gonna circle up on top of this clear cut here. It's a pretty big one. There's 2 deer in it right now that I know of, and I know there's more. This is a clear cut I saw in August, a pretty big 3-point that I would like to shoot. I just spotted a pretty big 3-point across this canyon over here. Definitely a deer that I want to shoot. I went to go shoot him, and I found him in my binoculars, and then when I went to go put my gun up on him, I couldn't find him in my scope. And I don't know where he went. He was just in this little opening in that reprod, and he was kind of feeding, so I think he ended up going into the thick stuff, and it gets pretty thick right in this little ravine here, and I've been looking for probably a good 20 minutes trying to find him after I lost him, and I can't find him. I don't know where he is, but he has a good 3-point. I did see a 2x3 earlier that I passed on. He was chasing does, and so the day ended up being fairly good. Only saw 11 deer, but 2 of them were bucks. One was a nice, like I said, this 3-point over here. He's definitely one I want to go after. He's a pretty good one. The 2x3 I saw, he's small. He was a younger deer, but this guy over here is pretty big. So I'm gonna probably just camp here tonight. It's now Friday, November 20th. I'm in the same spot. It's 6:40. I'm in the same spot I was last night when I left that big 3. He is over. Hopefully he's over there somewhere. I got 10 minutes before shooting light. I'm gonna go sit over here and watch this hillside for the first couple hours of the morning, and hopefully I can find him. So. Alright guys, a little after 8 right now. I've been looking at this hill for a little over an hour, about an hour now. Haven't seen anything. Can't find the deer. I think super cold, and these hillsides are all, sun hasn't hit any of them, so I'm hoping that if the sun is just starting to hit the tops of these clearings. So I'm hoping once the sun hits this whole thing and it kind of warms up that hill, that these deer will start moving. I'm thinking that being that it's so cold, they're just bedded down longer today than they normally would, because it was clear out all night and cold, so I'm sure they fed. Now they're laying down, and then hopefully once the sun hits those hills, they get up and move. But like I said, haven't seen any deer. It is crazy cold. I'm sitting in the car right now because I had to warm my feet up. My feet are frozen, and it is cold. And I figured, well, I can still see this hill from the car, so why not check it out from the car and warm up for a little bit. Hunt update. I did find 3 deer over there. Just like kind of what I thought. Once the sun hit that hillside, they started moving around a little bit. I found 2 does and a spike. Just a little. He had like 2-inch spikes. Wasn't that huge? Just a little deer. At least I did see some deer. I know there's more in there. It's just literally like I saw those deer. They were in an opening. I watched them for 2 minutes, and they set off into some thick stuff. And like I know the general area where they're at. I've been trying to find them for the last 10 minutes or so, and 15 minutes maybe, and oh wait, they're there, right there. Hold on. Alright guys, sorry about that. The car is like the best spot to spot these. Both times I've been in the car, I spotted deer just looking over there. I spotted those deer originally right after I kind of updated you guys about how cold it was and how I hadn't seen anything. I literally shut the camera off, look over on the hill, and I spotted a deer walking. And then it ended up being 2 more, and one of them, like I said, one of them's a little spike. And then I go over there, I watch them for a while, and then I watch this hillside, and I don't see a freaking deer, can't find a deer. I come back in the car to talk to you guys, and I look over on the hill, and there they are. They fed their way into the clear cut. I tried to get video of them, but my other camera I have that it allows me to look through my spotting scope, it died, and then this one, it won't let me. I can't get footage to the scope, so I'll have to try again later. I didn't really try that hard. I'm probably gonna run around this hill, kind of to where those deer are, but look over on the other ridge. There's some more reef rod stuff over there, and that stuff's been in the sun longer, and so I'm hoping. You know, this stuff is just now getting hit by the sun, and so I know these deer, they're going to move a little bit later. So I'm going to go over there, check that out, see if I can't find a deer over there, and then I'll come back, check this out again, and then keep going from there. I'm going to hunt. Peace out. Update on the hunt, it's 11:30 now. I just got done looking back at where I saw that big 3-point yesterday. Ended up seeing 8 more deer in there, plus the 3 I saw early this morning in there, so 11 deer total is what I ended up seeing in there. Only 1 spike, the rest were does. I couldn't find him, but I did find a hillside on the back of this hillside, opposite of where he was. I found a decent little 2-point that, you know, a couple more years will be good. With a doe, so it's looking up. I mean, I'm finding bucks. I just got to keep going. I think the deer are finally starting to move now that the sun has come up and it's starting to unthaw everything. If you're in the sun, it's fairly warm, and I think the deer are like, heck yeah. And so they're feeding now. So I'm gonna cruise around, try and find me the big buck. Talk to you guys in a few. Alright guys, video blog update. There he is. Forgot to get him at the tape when I actually got in too much excitement. All loaded. Ended up getting a he's a good 3-point. Not as big as the one I saw yesterday, but still a nice one. He's pretty tall, decent width, and he's got fairly good mass. Definitely happy with him. Ended up seeing a total of 3 bucks today so far. I mean, my day's over. I'm headed out now. But ended up shooting him about 11:45. He was in a clear cut with 2 does, and first shot was 450 yards, and then drove around. He ended up kind of going in, like, he never bedded down, but I could tell he was hit pretty good, but he wasn't moving very fast, so I decided, well, I knew how to get around to where he was, and looped around, got down, went to hike up the hill to where he was, and there he was standing 20 yards from me, and I shot him, dropped him right there. So ended up being pretty cool, and thankfully it worked out that way, because it only ended up being like a 20-yard drag to the road. So super stoked, excited. 2015 Blacktail in the books, tags notched. Let's do it again next year.